Hey guys, so Adam here. Today I'm going to be doing kind of like a draw my life video, and I'm just gonna like draw and explain and then show you guys pictures as I go on. Well, I was born in the amazing town of Colorado Springs. I was born on December 31st, 1999. I was there with my mom and my dad. And then me. Mom, my dad, and me. I was always in the middle. They both loved me. And it's pretty much how it all started. As I got older, not too much older, a little bit older, I actually ended up getting E. coli. This wonderful, wonderful disease. Not disease, but sickness, if you want to call it that. E. coli. I was a little itty bitty kid that had to wear this stupid cup on my head. And I was not happy. I mean, how happy would you be if you had to wear a cup on your head? My dad, he was in and out. So, my mom didn't really acknowledge him. He was just kind of there. And my mom was worried about me. She always has been. She's always worried. And my dad wasn't really there. He was just off in his own little world. So I pretended like he didn't exist. He wasn't there. Ever. And that's pretty much how it went. I got a little bit older, and we used to drive down to see my dad. I loved my dad. He was my everything. I mean, he was my daddy. I used to love him. But that love got smaller and smaller until it's barely just a pebble. Because he was never there, and he used to treat me bad. So my love for him just got smaller and smaller and smaller until it's just a tiny little pebble. Tiny, tiny little pebble. And a few years later, I was probably about 3, 4. We lived on a military base. I had this bear. Well, it wasn't really a bear, it was a dog. I'm gonna attempt to draw a dog. Her name, I named her Daisy. She was my bestest friend in the whole wide world. That's my Daisy. She was my best friend. And we actually lived on a 2-story. And there's a guy with a yard on the 2nd story. So I'd constantly throw Daisy down there over and over and over again. As many times as I could. Just for something to do. There was nothing to do up there. Eventually got to the point where the guy just ended up leaving his garage door open. And I used to go down there. I mean, there was nothing really to do. My mom was always pretty distant. I kind of kept to myself. I really didn't have any friends. I mean, it was a military base and I was 3. I really didn't have any friends, but... And then we decided, my grandpa got custody of us, and he decided, ooh, I'm going to attempt to draw a map of the US, and it's going to be horrible, but I don't care. We were over here in Cali. My grandpa was clear over here in Colorado. He paid somebody to drive from Colorado to Cali to pick up me, and my mom had a baby, my little sister. And the baby, she was probably only a few months old, come pick us up and drive all the way back to Colorado. It was a long trip, a lot of crying and screaming from my little sister, but we made it. And I was in kindergarten. I got good grades. I was a good kid. I mean, I had fun coloring and drawing my kooky little figures. I actually was fond of drawing flowers, and I used to draw flowers all over my paper. I used to get bored, and after I'd finish a test, I would write over it and just draw a bunch of flowers. And just have fun with it. I got good grades. Drew a bunch of flowers all over my tests. And kindergarten was fun. I had so many friends. It was amazing. And then I lost my arm to a kind of like an upside down T-shaped machine that was called a meat grinder. And it was not fun. Arm got docked clear down to the elbows, and now here I am with this little stub. I mean, I didn't let it affect me. I was a happy kid either way. I mean, I got to spend some time in a hospital. Wonderful meat grinder that you put big chunks of meat in up here, goes down, gets pushed out a grate over here, and gets turned into just mush, more or less. And it didn't faze me. I was a happy kid. Nothing really got in my way. I mean, I was just me. I had a blast. It was so much fun. I mean, and then school started. I started with my wonderful first grade teacher, Mrs. Roden. She was amazing. She was so nice, and she always had this card that I had to fill out. And it was Monday through Friday, and I had to wear my prosthetic all the time. All 5 days of the week. And if I wore them for all 5 days, then I got a prize. And it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed school. I was a happy kid, always good grades. Until about third week of school. That's when things started to go bad. Miss Roden, postcard, present, things started to go bad. All the friends that I had, so many friends. I had several friends, and we all hung out and used to swing on the swings, and I used to push them on the swings because they couldn't swing high enough. I was friends with everybody, and then now I was just me. It was just little old me. I went from having so many friends to having fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer until all my friends were not even there. And that made me a very, very sad kid. It wasn't fun. I struggled making friends. I mean, I still got good grades. Struggled making friends. First grade went by super fast. Second grade rolled around. And that's where I met Damien. I'm not gonna go too in depth about that because you guys already know about Damien, but Damien was a friend that I met in the first grade, and he got bullied. And in fourth grade, roughly, he couldn't take it anymore, so he committed suicide. And I remember going to his funeral and crying the entire way there because I lost the one person that I cared about most. I would sit at my window with it wide open and unlocked, just staring out at the moon, just waiting and hoping for him to come home. And he was practically my brother, except he never did. It was always just me. I sat there alone for hours and hours on end until I finally had to accept the fact that he was really gone. Death was a hard thing for me to grasp when I was in fourth grade. It was hard. I mean, him and I were so close. I loved him, I did. But then again, I still love him as much as I did then as I do now. I love him as much as I do now as I did back then, I mean. And he's always going to be a part of me. And nothing can change that. But 5th grade rolled around, and good grades. There's a moth on my wall. Scared me. I leave my window open still to this day. I leave it open a little bit and unlocked. Just kind of force a habit. But I always hope that he comes home. Well, anyway, 5th grade rolled around, and my great-grandma died. I loved my great-grandma. She was the most amazing grandma in the world. I loved her. And when we went to her funeral, I remember not crying the entire thing. Me biting my lip to the point where it was damn near bleeding. And I didn't want her to go. I mean, I just lost my friend not even a year before. And now my great-grandma, the one who I baked with and made cookies and crumbles and all kinds of delicious food together, she was gone too. 6th grade came around. That's when I thought things were bad before, but 6th grade. 6th grade. I was just me, a kid who was quote-unquote handicapped in a seemingly normal world. I was sad. People used to call me all kinds of things. Nemo, freak, monster. And I constantly got it over and over and over again from all directions. And that just caused me to get sadder and sadder and sadder. And pretty much stayed the same throughout middle school. Same people. And I eventually got diagnosed with depression. And currently taking meds for it, but it's hard. I've been struggling with it since I was about 9 years old, after my friend Damien died. And it just got worse from there. Things never seemed to go my way. I always used to seem like I was playing by everybody else's rules. But flash forward to earlier this year, and my grandpa got custody of me again, because my mom got it and then she lost it. Now my grandpa has custody of me again. And I get this amazing thing. This truly, truly amazing thing. Called a laptop. It was so cool. I mean, I was so happy with it. And I discovered, well, I didn't discover, but I found that YouTube, you could create videos and upload them to YouTube. So that's what I started doing. I mean, it was so fun. I mean, it is fun. It is super fun. Making videos of Five Nights at Freddy's and Never-Ending Nightmares and everything else like that. It's super fun. I loved it. And I still do love it. I mean, I can make videos for you guys and not have to worry about being judged so much. I mean, there's people out there, I'm always gonna get hate from people, but I've got fan art from you guys. I've got fan art from Five Nights at Freddy's. And just these cool little, like, letters, like, fancy background. You guys are super supportive. I mean, that's a way for me to put myself out there and not have to worry about it. And I really enjoyed it. I still do enjoy it, and it makes me extremely happy to make YouTube videos for you guys. I truly enjoy it. And then I've met so many amazing people on here. I'm not going to be drawing anymore, but I've met so many amazing people on here, and I've made, in my high school, my old high school, I've made so many awesome friends there. Just to name a few, one of them, his name is Robert, and I love him, I love him, I love him. He's practically my brother. He is my brother, and I love him. He showed me that I can be whoever the hell I want to be, and if somebody asks me, why do you do that? I can say, because fuck you, that's why. Just gave me the power to believe in myself again, and he's helped me in more ways than he'll ever know, and when he watches this, he'll know exactly who he is. But I've met so many amazing people through YouTube and school. It's just been, my life has been rough, to say the least, but I've made some amazing, amazing friends in these past 2 years. I mean, I've barely known him for 2 years, and he's already part of my family. And if I could go back in time, I would do everything again, and I wouldn't change anything. Because if I didn't go through what I did, and didn't meet the people that I did, then I wouldn't be where I am now. I mean, I get to make videos for you amazing people out there, and I've made so many friends, like Robert and another one, his name's Taz. These are actually his rings, these two are actually his, but they're so amazing, and I just really don't know what else to say. They mean the world to me, both Robert and Taz, especially Robert. He's really helped me find who I am as a person, and I'll always love him for that. And he's just an amazing person in general. He's phenomenal. I mean, I remember one day when I was having a bad day and he decided to play the White Stripes 7 Nation Army on his guitar just to make me feel better. It was amazing, and things definitely get better. Granted, I've been told things will get better since I was 4 years old. 5 when I lost my arm. 2, that meat grinder. It does get better, it just takes time. And never regret anything you do, ever. I mean, you're just gonna have to accept the past. I mean, I've made some pretty stupid decisions, and I'm only 16. I've made some pretty stupid decisions, but I don't regret anything, because I've met amazing people, and I have 206 subscribers on my channel, which is amazing. I love the support, and I just love making YouTube videos for you guys. I just enjoy doing what I do, and I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for the awesome people here on YouTube who has supported me, and my amazing friends. And shout out to my buddy Robert. I love you. You know that. I miss you every day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about you. I'm definitely gonna miss you when school starts up, since I am going to a different school than you now. Just be yourself, and as always, stay safe. I mean, that's all I can ask. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for listening to my 22-minute rant on just my long, somewhat depressing life. I'm sorry if this seems like really, really depressing and sad, but it wasn't supposed to be. It's just who I am. I mean, it is what it is. When life gives you lemons, freeze them and throw them back at the people who gave them to you. Just be who you are. Well, anyway, guys, again, thanks for listening to my 23-minute rant on just draw my life. I know my drawing's horrible. You don't have to comment. I can actually draw really well if I actually sit down and take my time. Like I drew Laughing Jack. Some of you guys saw it. He's actually over there. But that was my Draw My Life video, and if you guys have any suggestions for future videos, please comment. As always, I love hearing from you guys, and stay safe.